Over the holidays, I binged on a lot of YouTube videos. Do you know there's a niche on YouTube about how to look expensive on a budget, how to fit into high society, how to marry rich. It was really intriguing for me and I was hooked by the psychology of what drives this. Why would you want to look rich if you can't afford to? What is looking expensive and who are setting these standards? Because I've been brought up to believe that true wealth is beyond the plane. It's about living a rich life rather than just a flashy lifestyle. But if you are like me, you have been scrolling through Instaverse, bombarded by private jet selfies and a parade of conspicuous brand names. And all of this social media promotes a lot of consumption. I have no problem about looking expensive, looking presentable, as long as it fits in with who you are. But if you ask me to dress in something white and pastel all day long, I would probably be very upset very soon, because that's not a part of who I am. But this specific niche on YouTube happens to have a certain way they dress, a certain set of bags they carry, and whatnot. It is less about the individual and more about a caricature of high society. But I get it. All of this really promotes consumption and a consumer mindset. And this is also why a lot of West is suffering from consumer debt. But consumption is not something that I'm against. In fact, I think conscious consumption, being aware of what you are consuming, is actually really beneficial for both your mental health and also for the economy. I'm a trained economist. I know that this economic system will fall apart if we start not consuming. However, as individuals, we need to realize that we are individuals of our own. We have our lifestyles that may or may not fit in with the Joneses. And also, we want to be spending money on things that matter to us, things that last a long time, things that are not expensive for the planet. However, what we instead see are rich wife vlogs, Birkin bags, and then young women especially trying to emulate these fashion influences and then going broke. And I have also come across some research that shows that if your friends and circle are invested in riskier assets, you are more likely to invest in riskier assets. This is true for if your friend circle wants to look rich, you would want to look rich. People invariably overestimate how much money other people have because they only can see the externals. They can't see what's in that person's bank account. For all you know, you might have a millionaire next door and not know about it because they have a quiet lifestyle and they are not falling for these quiet luxury videos. However, your friends who want to be looking rich actually are broke and servicing their quiet luxury lifestyle from credit card debt. Which one would you rather be? And then there's financial peer pressure. And this financial peer pressure actually causes a lot of anxiety, debt, and stress. I know people are talking a lot more about the mental health crisis being caused by the lack of financial resources or the financial stress. However, this is not new. As a student of economics, we were reading about farmer suicides, entrepreneur suicides, all the way back 10, 15, 20 years. This is not a new phenomenon. Financial stress is a real thing, and keeping your mental health intact through a period of prolonged financial stress is really your own job and also perhaps your community's job, which is why I want this community to support each other, which is why I want to share this with you. You know that I had an obsession with designer handbags, even though it was not a part of who I was primarily. Because of this peer pressure that I had, people in my friend circle were carrying fancy handbags. And I still happen to have them, not because I like them very much, but because I just happen to buy them and I don't want to again go around shopping for other bags. But this financial peer pressure is not good for your mental health. And if you can't afford it, if you don't enjoy it, please don't spend money on it. Please don't spend on fashion that doesn't bring out the true self that you are. In fact, I was reading another statistic. Apparently, in only the last year, fast fashion has costed the world 92 million tons of waste. Can you believe it? And I also came across this other video on YouTube which suggested that Burberry apparently burns stuff that they have overstock that they can't sell. And that to me feels like a very big waste of resources. And I don't know if you came across this over the holidays, that the CEO of Louis Vuitton is now the richest man of the world. He beat Elon Musk to it. And how did he get there? He sold a lot of stuff to people who want to feel rich, look rich, and that's how he has become rich, which is great for him. Again, nothing against conscious consumption. If you are really into a Louis Vuitton bag or a Burberry coat, I know I'm into Burberry coats. If that's you, you do you. But don't do it unconsciously. Don't do it unaware and then just throw it out. So it's much better to buy into higher end things that last you a lifetime rather than cheaper brands that you have to throw away consistently. And this is a really interesting point because I know a lot of people can't really afford to buy the higher end things and then they have to keep replacing their worn out garments or bags or whatever. But actually it is worth saving up for a finer quality thing that you can keep for years and years to come rather than throwing it away every 2-3 years, because that actually keeps your money safe. You are spending £200 rather than spending £20 200 times. And that brings me to talk about financial freedom. And when I talk about financial freedom, it's not about looking rich. It's about having the time and the capacity and the energy to actually be present in the moment. And most of us don't have that time because we are running after something that we may or may not want just because society has told us to do so. Which brings me to what I mean by true wealth and true luxury. It is having the freedom of quiet time, not quiet luxury. And hopefully you understand that quiet luxury isn't about fitting into someone else's definition of luxury. Just because Kate Middleton wore something, you or I should not be wearing it. Our life situations are completely different. Social media is only 5% of what you see of someone's life. The rich people's life is actually lived in the rest of the 95%. And the rest of the 95% of the times, they are spending it in a very different way to what is portrayed on social media. True wealth is about having the freedom and flexibility of choosing what you want to do, when you want to do it. Having the luxury of quiet time rather than having quiet luxury that tells you that you should dress in a certain way. Why can't you and I decide what rich is for ourselves? That is what true freedom is about. True freedom is not about mimicking another person's lifestyle, because who said that that is how a rich life should be led? That's what they happen to do. That's not what you or I need to do. True freedom is about not having the pressure to impress. True freedom is about things that add value to your life. They could be something as simple as curling up with a book with some tea, or going out for a walk in nature, or just having some quiet family and friends time. It might, of course, look very different for you if you are a fashionista. And if you are, no judgment, right? If you want to look a certain way, it could be your way. It doesn't have to be inspired by these rich wife, rich life vlogs, how to marry a rich man, and all about Birkin bags and a flashy lifestyle. And to me, you being you is truly elegant. What I don't want you to take away from this video is that you turn up in rags somewhere. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you don't need to turn up in these definition, quite luxury colors just to fit into high society, because that is the opposite of freedom, because that is sacrificing your choice at the altar of trying to look rich. I would much rather that you be rich and live in more awareness of how you spend your time, how you spend your money, how you spend your energy. It is not about not looking presentable. It is about not trying to fit in with people who you don't have anything in common with. Why would you want to fit in with them? Have you come across some of these quite luxury type videos on YouTube? And if you have, can you let me know in the comments below what you think of them? Am I being biased? Because I found it really intriguing. Why would you want to marry rich? You would much rather be rich than marry rich. Why would you want to look rich? You would much rather be rich than look rich. And why would you want to emulate someone else's lifestyle when that's not who you are? If you enjoyed this episode, episode, please consider subscribing because it does motivate me to keep creating this sort of content for you. And if you haven't liked or commented yet, I would quietly encourage you to do so right now. And if you enjoyed this, I will link up something similar here or here, and I will see you the next time. Bye.